Hi, we're here in the car again.
Hi, it's Diane.
And Bruce. Diane's driving, so we have to be very careful here.
Happy Sunday, everyone.
And today's a very special day in the Needle household.
Go ahead.
Because today is the 20th anniversary of our first, and I might add, blind date.
That's right. October 21st, 1998, we met 20 years ago today, and we met on Match.com.
Yep, we both were online dating before the swiping right and swiping left, which I've never done and never will do. We met on Match.com, and we talked a little bit on the phone, maybe over email, and then we decided to meet in person to see if she really looked like she said she did.
And I did.
And for those of you who know Diane, shockingly, she was late to the date. At least 10 minutes late. Ran in like a Tasmanian devil. We met at the TAM.
Well, I was running late. I couldn't find parking.
Yep,
It was when the TAM was on Harvard Street. I know a lot of you probably remember it on, is it Beacon or Carmel? Beacon Street. Where I think Barcelona is now.
Yep.
But it used to be on Harvard Street for just a couple of years. There's the history of the TAM. So we met there, and I was late. I was looking for parking. I think I probably parked illegally.
I was going to say you rushed into the place.
Yeah,
I'm sitting there waiting like, oh, damn, I'm getting stood up. And she rushes in late, and it was I just parked out front, and I didn't know where to park, and like you'd think like her car was pulled up on the curb, like smashed into a pole. It was ridiculous. Yeah. And that was the beginning of
me running out of gas.
Of you running out of gas and being late.
Yeah. So I wanted to. So I don't know. I don't think a lot of people heard this. I was on Kiss 108 a few weeks ago.
That's right.
And I mentioned that my 20-year anniversary was coming up, and that we met on Match.com. And for those of you who know Maddie in the Morning and Maddie Siegel, it was pretty funny. He's like, Match.com was around 20 years ago? And I'm like, yep. And it's true, we were pioneers. I think it was like it had just
to have been new.
It had just hit the scene. I was living with my roommate Karen in Chestnut Hill, and that was our fun. We were like on Match.com, and
I was living with my 3 boys in Weymouth.
Right. And as we said, you know, like Bruce and I probably never would have met, because while meeting guys back then was going to Newbury Street and out for drinks, Sauncey on Newbury was a really hot spot.
Not my scene.
There were also those fabulous Jewish dances that we all used to go to back in the day. And you weren't doing any of that.
I would do none of that because I wasn't going to go meet a woman out and then, oh, by the way, yeah, I know you think I'm beautiful and you want to marry me, but I have 3 kids. Like
beautiful, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
pretty
handsome.
confident.
Yeah. If somebody didn't know I had 3 boys and wasn't ready for all that baggage, then there was no starting. We had to start there.
Yeah, and he did put that out there. And while I was a little being single and never married, I didn't exactly find you on Match.com and go, oh boy, just what I was looking for, a divorced man with 3 children. But
my wildest dreams.
God rest my father's soul. I always say he would have been rolling over if he ever knew I went on that first date. But
he would have liked me. I used to eat at his restaurant.
Yes, he would have loved you, absolutely. So, yeah, so that was that. But I do want to give out a little PSA on online dating. I know it's still around. It's really hot. We have a lot of friends whose kids have met on like Tinder, and that's the swipe one, and they're on it. They're online dating, and it's now out there. And I don't think it says taboo. Like people are like, oh, you met online dating. Like I am not embarrassed by it whatsoever. You know, what's the difference between online dating and sitting in a bar, right?
Exactly.
Unless you lie, of course, which we'll get to your little lie in a minute. But It's okay. It wasn't a big lie. He said he was, what, 5'11", 280 or 6 feet?
6 feet,
Oh, yeah,
180. My God.
Oh, yeah, right.
There's a big difference there.
He said he was 6 feet, 180, when the truth was what?
I've never really made 6 feet. I'm like 5'11" and 3/4. Okay, so I rounded up on that. And the 180, I was probably closer to 190 when we met.
Yeah, so anyways,
Okay,
that was
it wasn't that bad.
All right, but here's my PSA, my public service announcement on online dating. A lot of mistakes that I think, a lot of, back when we were doing it, I loved it, and I thought I was a very good online dater, because one thing I always refused to do was to talk to these guys on the phone for any length of time. Do you remember? I didn't really talk to you a lot.
Not
It was
really.
like, hi, like your picture. Hi, okay. We told, we talked for what, 10 minutes, 15
not a
minutes,
lot.
and then we decided to
Just
meet.
enough to get the facts.
And this is why I think that's a really good practice, because there have been situations where other friends of mine were online dating, and here's what happens. I get the phone call, oh my God, I met this guy online, he's so awesome, check him out, this is his picture, blah, blah, blah. And we've been talking for a week, a whole week. We talk like every night, and we haven't met yet, and we're going to meet, but we haven't met yet, and we get along great. And then what happens? You go meet in person, and my friend calls me the next day. Oh my God, I really liked him. He was adorable. I hope he calls. And guess what? Heart is broken. He never calls again. And this happens the other way around too. I've had male friends also say to me, oh yeah, I really liked her. I hope she wants to go out with me again. And then what happens? She doesn't want to go out. So I'm going to tell you exactly why that happens. Why does it happen? Everyone knows why it happens, because there's no physical attraction. There's no chemistry. And you can't tell that over the phone. You might get along intellectually, right? And mentally you might connect, but then maybe you meet. Maybe you don't look exactly like your picture online that was taken when you were 20 pounds thinner. Or maybe, that you had that one really good shot, right? Am I right?
Well, nowadays the Photoshop.
Did you-
we didn't have. I don't remember Photoshop. Or anything
No,
like
people
that.
weren't photoshopping back then,
No.
but still.
But you could now.
Well, I suppose, right? Yeah, people probably do now. Yeah.
Take
yeah.
a blemish out or two, or
Right.
suck in
But
the
I mean,
cheeks.
but here's the thing. You know what? You're not going to know if you connect with somebody and feel it, like just anything. It could be mannerisms, it could be their voice, not their voice, but it could be anything that turns you off or turns them off.
No, but
And
there
you-
has to be attraction.
there has to be attraction and some chemistry. And
Absolutely.
you're not going to know that until you meet in person. So keep the conversations short, quick. I know it's exciting meeting somebody new, but keep it short and sweet, right? You look good. I liked your profile. You talk for 10 minutes. You kind of rule out that they're not a psychopath, and set up the date in a public place and go from there. You're going to know very quickly if you want to see this person again or not, and vice versa. So what do you think? That's a good PSA, don't you think?
I absolutely agree. Yep.
So we met very quickly after we talked and saw each other online.
Yep.
And here we are 20 years later. We're like the poster children for online dating. Don't you think?
Absolutely.
Huh?
Yep.
So happy anniversary, honey.
Same to you. Okay.
So, yeah. So 20 years, it's not our wedding anniversary. We've only been married 18 years as of July 1st, but October 21st was the day we met.
Yep.
So, all right. That's it, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. I guess we're calling this the Diane and Bruce show, which is kind of funny. I think
it's the Bruce and Diane show. That'll be another episode that we'll cover another time.
Bye.